It's really scary in life to leave a current job or let go of certain clients because, of course, you depend on them for that income. However, there are times you have to ask yourself, is this really worth it? And the issue many times is, and there's been studies about this, where the situation that you're in, whether it's with a current job or, if you're a freelancer and have various clients, you're in this position where it's not terrible, but it's also not good, right? And so you tolerate it in that sense and just kind of put up with things as they are. But ultimately, it's wearing you down and it's not really beneficial. And so, especially in those moments, you have to ask yourself and really kind of dig in, is this truly worth it? Or am I better moving on? And in fact, there's a great quote from The Alchemist, a very heavily cited book, a tremendous book. And it goes, you hold on too tightly, but when you let go, more opportunity comes in. And this is true. I think too often we just hold on to for dear life within these situations because of that fear factor, right? We're too scared to leave it because whatever else there is the unknown. And especially in today's day and age, when we're talking about financials, it's a big, big thing, right? But what I found in my life is that usually when I'm ready to take that step forward and move on to a new position, by announcing it to the world, opportunities do open up because various people that may have hit me up for, gigs or longer term jobs were hesitant to do so because, maybe they did it a couple of years ago and stuff like that, but I kept saying, no, I'm busy, or I'm tied up, I'm doing this. And so eventually they stopped, right? But by making that shift and saying, hey, you know what, I am now available, essentially, then all of a sudden the doors start opening up. Of course, that requires you having a good network, a good reputation, and so forth. But it does work in that way. You do literally open yourself up to new opportunity. And, the truth of the matter is that, when it comes to a job, loyalty, unfortunately, is not rewarded within most jobs. And, you try to go in for a raise and you might get a little bit of a bump, but not what you fully deserve. And in fact, there's plenty of evidence, right, statistically speaking, that you're much better off to get an increase in pay by leaving a job and going somewhere else versus staying in your current position. So it's very interesting how all of this does work, but knowing it and knowing how to navigate within it, as scary as it may be, gives you a little bit of autonomy, let's say, right? And so it's important to, have that confidence and kind of go for it when like, hey, either the situation that I'm in is not good or the pay that I'm receiving is not what I could be getting. So let me look. And I think that's a key distinction. One of my friend, Jonathan Moulton, he always says, always be looking for your next job while you have your current job. Now, of course, he's not the only one to have this sentiment. Of course, plenty of other people have echoed this in their own various way. But it's true, and that's how the scary aspect of all of this, that's how you can mitigate the risk, And of course, there is a little bit of, let's say, someone can find out, oh, you're actively looking for a job. Like if your current employer sees you that all of a sudden you put on LinkedIn that you're available, well then, of course, that may raise some red flags and you have to kind of be ready for that. And so you might want to maybe go about it in a less public way. And in fact, a lot of times, most jobs that anyone that I ever known or certainly have gotten for myself, it's usually because I hear about it through a friend and not, they recommend me, but it's not even necessarily the recommendation. It's just more so letting whoever the hiring manager is to let them know, like, hey, just look out for this email. Look out for this resume, cover letter, whatever it is, and at least just look at their stuff, you know? And if you feel like they're a good candidate, you know, go from there, right? But oftentimes, you know, with the just kind of regular job applications, it's usually just filtered through a computer and stuff like that, and you hardly ever get seen, sort of a thing. But the point being that don't be afraid, you know, start looking, ask various people, and when you start doing that, opportunities do come. I know it's a scary, scary thing, and we try not to, you know, rattle the cage too much, but good things do happen if you take that leap. It can be scary, but if you stick to it and do it in a smart and thoughtful way, then it can pay dividends. So, you know, and just for, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm also, as I said, speaking from firsthand experience. I've you know, experienced this multiple times. In fact, very recently, there was a client that I was working with, and I worked with them for a number of years, and you know, just got to a point where they got too comfortable with me, and in a way was being taken advantage of and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, this no longer is worth it for me. And so, you know, I was like, you know what, I reached out to a couple of friends and I was like, hey, I might have more availability soon for new clients. If that's you or you know somebody, hit me up. And opportunities started to come in. And also I gave that client an opportunity, you know, where I came to them, I said, hey, I feel like things are shifting, you know, in terms of where your priorities lie. I didn't blame them for anything. And I said, you know, I think things are shifting and this is where your priorities lie. If that's the case, that's fine. You know, I wish you the best, but, you know, there could be a way to make it work, but here's how. On my end, it would need to work. And if that's cool by you, then great. We can continue working. If not, then unfortunately, you know, this working relationship just comes to an end at this point in time. So doing it in a respectful way also mattered to me, and, you know, not just leaving them and not making it, but giving them an opportunity to address the issues that I had. And luckily, you know, it worked out in the way that it was supposed to. And so, yeah, but just wanted to kind of share that experience as well, because again, I think many times it can be very easy for people to spew, you know, these tips and wisdom and things like that, and without essentially having lived in those circumstances. And I just wanted to let you know that I've been through this many a times, right? And have dealt with it and seen it for other people and helped them navigate through these troubled waters, as it may be. And I've seen them come out on the other end much more happier, sometimes with the same job or the same, you know, client, whatever it may be. Other times, you know, they've moved on. So, you know, that's up to them, of course. And as long as it works on their end, that's great. So, thought I'd share that. Anyway, thank you so much. I truly do appreciate it. As always, I invite you to comment down below or hit me up on social media with any of your thoughts, questions, all that jazz, so we can have a deeper discussion on this subject matter. And I also hope to see you next time.